the night and the Gemini crew.
Let's just talk about the world. Give this page another turn, 'cause you're here with us tonight. Everything's alright when you're here with Mike in the night. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Giving the world light when you're here with Mike in the night. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Sometimes things are just absurd, so let's just talk about the world, 'cause you're here with us tonight. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Let's just talk about the world. Give this page another curl, 'cause you're here with us tonight.
I bid you good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you may be watching this transmission. Welcome to a very special, non-promoted or just spur of the moment Mike in the Night. For y'all out there. Uncertainty and tensions in the Middle East are building. Uncertainty and tensions in the Middle East are going big right now. I'm getting some really poor internet connection here. Go figure. And sit back, relax. Maybe drink some sparkling water. Oh, crack a window, because you're in for Mike in the Night. It's going to be a short one tonight, guys. But I really wanted to get this. Wanted to stream live tonight, but it looks like I'm getting really bad internet connection here. Looks like I'm gonna get disconnected any second here. Just trying to keep it above like 3 kilobytes per second here. It's not even doing that. Come on. Anyway, so I'm gonna plow through this and see what gets all choppy or what doesn't get choppy. Oh well. Anyways, thanks for joining. We got Zaki in the house, guys. Thanks for joining the comments. Guys, don't forget to jump into the comments. We are live. Very special edition. Today is Tuesday night. It is January 7th. It's January 8th for most of the world. And we will be opening up here a few links here on what's happening in the Middle East. We got some huge issues brewing right now in the Middle East. And things are going to get intense. Not too sure where they're going to head from here. I can't tell you. But I do have some important correspondence to relay to you. I try to get a gentleman on the show in the Persian Gulf who is an affiliate for another major news channel, but he's having issues talking to me for fear of he just can't talk to me live. But he has been sending messages to me. So here goes, guys. This is from the Cincinnati kid who's in the Persian Gulf right now. Let's go back to what he was telling me. Let's hear. Here we go. Poop is all over the place, if you know what I mean. As your Middle East advisor, I recommend if you have any family in Europe or the Middle East, now is the time for them to leave. Please be careful with this information. And it goes on, someone saying that there's a Ukrainian plane crash. USA will answer to sure about this is the question. Okay. The Iranian military has made huge troop movements in the interior of Iran, as well as many of their submarines are no longer in port. The United States Navy 3rd and 7th Fleets are running silent as they are no longer broadcasting Wi-Fi. Reports of ICBM attacks is underway in the Persian Gulf. The United States military has presidential order to carry weapons on duty at all times. That only happens at a DEFCON state 3 or less. The economy will most definitely react to this, except significant movement of money if it has not already happened in the global economy. And there's lots here. Okay, I am hearing, so this guy's on the ground. Okay, so this guy is on the ground, okay? He's in the Persian Gulf. He's in there, okay? I am hearing that more than 60 ICBM missiles have been fired by Iran to Iraq as well as at sea. Future stock markets are plummeting. Okay, so I do have somebody on the ground there in the Persian Gulf who's basically telling me, like, you know, this is what he knows from his intelligence and what he thinks is happening. So none of this is concrete. This is just what's happening. Now, these tensions are obviously causing a bit of ruckus in the someone's meant to describe my Facebook message. YouTube was wasn't letting me comment on your video for a minute. Oh, I don't know. YouTube's been acting weird, and I'm getting zero connection here. I'm not even getting 1 megabyte upload speed here. So this thing's gonna be choppy as crap. Right. So I'm getting a lot of information being sent to me here. I do have intelligence in the Middle East. I do know people in the Middle East right now. The problem is a lot of them are just they don't want to risk it, right? They don't want to. They know a lot. A lot of people know a lot because they're seeing it from a different angle. The price of oil and Bitcoin and gold are going up. So let's move over to the Australian markets. We'll just plug this later. Where's this? Oh, I got several pages open here. Hold on a second, guys. I got a lot of pages open here. I got several pages of pages open. Let me just close all this here. Let's go back to here. Nope. That's just a live dashboard stream of where I'm broadcasting to. That's not a big deal. What happened to all the pages I had open? There we go. All right. I just fixed this here. Yeah, sorry about this, guys. I wanted to do a quick Mike in the Night with you guys just to kind of discuss the tensions in the Middle East. I would love to hear some feedback from you guys. I did get information, or how do you say, I do have intelligence there on the ground that does give me information, so I'm not too worried about obtaining the information. I'm kind of worried about what I'm allowed to say, or... All right, guys, here you go, guys. Here's my Facebook page. If you guys want to check this out, go ahead. This is my fan page on Facebook. You could message me on Facebook. Go to the top of the YouTube channel where you'll find my Facebook if you need to message me directly. There's also Patreon. There's a tip jar and Teespring there if you guys want to buy. I lowered the price substantially on a lot of stuff. I do have a Mike in the Night Raven mug with the raven on it. He looks so cute on this mug. Look at this. There's the raven on the mug. It's cheap. It's like $13. So if you guys... Canadian. So I don't know what it is. A lot less than American. Okay, guys. Let's get back to the meat and potatoes here. Let's look at the Australian markets. Okay. Yahoo Finance Australia. Let's see where gold is at right now. Oil's kind of iffy. Australian dollar is slightly above water. Gold's up another $17. pushing the $1,600 mark. Bitcoin's at 1,200 Australian dollars, so that's about 8,000 American, 9,000 American maybe. It's pushing the 10K mark, I think. All right, guys. Bitcoin is at 8,300 yesterday. Bitcoin was only 7,200. Guys, if you want to join, you see Tignim, he's got a little S, that's for super, new member. So if you guys want to join, guys, you can join right now live while we're here. Go to the channel and click join. If you guys want to join, I would really appreciate it if you guys want to join the channel and contribute to this transmission to kind of help me out here a bit. I'm having a tough time right now with the whole eBay thing. I can't ship to the United States anymore like I used to because the Canadian government wants more for shipping than should be allowed. And Emma's saying, did you see the article about Australia who was fined $100,000 for doing controlled burn on its property? Climate Act. Yes. I actually spoke to that guy on Skype after the show, like a day after. I actually spoke to that guy after Mike in the Night. I actually spoke to a guy privately, and he was just swearing and swearing, and then this and that. It's all their effing fault, and effing this and F this. He's like, listen, Mike, listen, mate, mate, listen. It's like, oh my God, he was so upset. I had to take a Valium after I got off the phone with that guy. Holy Max. Okay, so let's go back here. What the hell was I? So Iran strikes back. We're going to keep an eye on the markets here and on the price of gold and silver. And I got Press TV live from Iran here also. And Iran's military says U.S. forces conversations show heavy casualty caused by Iran missile attack. So this is Iran's military intelligence telling them that U.S. forces conversation shows heavy casualties caused by Iran missile attack. So, yeah, we kind of don't want this. We don't want this, okay? None of us want this. We don't... Man, it keeps going back to that. All right, Iran strikes back at U.S. with missile attack and bases in Iraq. So, I have someone on the ground in the Middle East that is sending me correspondence. I'm not allowed to tell you who it is, or nor am I allowed to tell you who they are or exactly where they're at. But let's just say I was told to be careful with this information. So this is what they're saying, guys, on Press TV. I'm just telling you what they're saying on Press TV, right? This is live from Press TV in Iran. This is Iran.
Totally neglected for specific.
Yeah, I'm getting a really bad signal, but this is from Iran, directly from Iran. Press TV, their local government-owned, state-owned. Canada's got state-owned thing too.
The welfare systems, the kind of the roadworks for the poor, the housing, all of this has been totally neglected for a specific reason, because they wanted the grassroots people to be unhappy with the government. So you can see the multi-leveled layer in which the Americans have actually tried to destroy Iraq non-stop. They just got an absolute obsession with it. The final nail in the coffin, I think, for the...
So we're getting pretty bad transmission there. And this is live. This is live right now. This is a TV journalist there. So this is live feed from Iran here. So I'm trying to keep up what's going on their end. Here we got Fox News here. I got this one open. That's the only one I think makes any sense. Everything else is just a bunch of blah, 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 blah. And we're keeping a looky-see here on the crypto markets. Australian dollars just over 61 cents US. On the US dollar, sorry. 61 cents US. Yes, on the, vice versa. Yeah, you know what I mean. The FTSE is down. Let me see Dow Jones. Let me see where gold is. It's most important. Right here. Gold's up almost $20. So it's pushing the $1,600 mark. It pushes 1,600. Bam. It did push 1,600 actually. It's down now, 1,592. But it's already hit. Gold exploding. 180 people on board. Okay, whoa, Donaire, what are you talking about? 180 people on board. Check Zero Hedge. Yeah, I got Zero Hedge open right here. Oh, Ukrainian Boeing. Oh, you're talking about this? The hell happened here? Okay. Ukrainian Boeing 737 with 180 onboard crashes after takeoff from Iran. Ooh. Okay, Ukrainian plane crash. Okay, I didn't know it was taking off from Iran. I thought it was somewhere in Europe. Whew. Raising chilling memories of the downed MH17 false flag in Ukraine. The devastating news of the Ukrainian Airlines Boeing 737 passenger jets has crashed following a takeoff from Iran is fashionably coincidental with tonight's massive escalation. Oh, man. What's this video? What is that, a rocket? It's moving too fast to be a plane. It does have a trail. I'm not sure. There's trees in the way there. It's just a light. There it is. There it is. It's going to touch ground. Wow, that lit up the sky. What is this? Pictures of what's left of the Ukrainian plane wreckage. Nothing much according to the Iranian media. It's very unlikely that anyone survived. Wow. Man, that's pretty scary, man. Pretty scary. All right, so let's go back to here. All right, there is something odd about this, though. As Flight Radar 24 shows, the plane was gaining altitude around 8,000 feet when it suddenly disappears. So it took off from Tehran, and here's the speed and altitude. So it was hitting about 290 knots, and it reached an altitude of 8,000 plus feet. 8,000 and change. 7,900, 8,000 feet at 275 knots. And then it just disappeared. Huh. Interesting. Very, very interesting. An MH17, 737. This is very interesting. This just came to my attention because someone just mentioned it there on in the comments section. 12 ballistic missiles fired, launched at 2 American bases. This is here what we're covering, right? Right here. We're covering that right now. But we want this from 11 minutes ago. But what I want to cover, what I actually want to get is on the Iranian side right here. And I'm trying to get this transmission on Iran to work from Press TV. And I'm having some difficulties.
The use of the U.S. forces, about $300 million was spent, and if we are to believe right now that that installation has been razed to the ground, you can say that in terms of the money, that's a great amount that has been inflicted upon the U.S., let alone, because we cannot say right now, but we're also hearing it's an airbase. You can imagine that there are airplanes parked there. So if we are to believe that this is the damage that is inflicted on the airbase itself, one can only guess the facts and figures regarding the airplanes, fighter jets that had been parked in that airbase. But it's just too soon, and we're just speculating, mind you. Iran says that, and tells the UN Security Council, that is in a letter, that it will not seek war. Official reactions from Iran within the past few hours. We had the reaction, first one, I believe, from our foreign minister, Mohammad Javad Zarif, who came out and said that Iran had started and concluded a relative response, a proportionate response to what the U.S. had done in targeting late General Qassem Soleimani. And
so they did a small or some sort of retaliation, in their opinion, that brings some sort of a counterbalance to the measure, if that makes any sense. So they're not denying. So here on Press TV, state fund Iranian media is telling us, we're not denying we didn't do this. We did this. but we wanted some sort of a counterbalance. Okay, we wanted to kind of find a kind of median in the two sides here. Kind of like we wanted a little bit of I'm just reading the comments here. So, Brother John is saying it's BS, blown out of proportion on TV. ABC did a full interview with Iran military. Yeah, but ABC is always broadcasting crap. You know how those guys edit and revamp and take crap out and then kind of edit things and say, I didn't say that. It's like, well, you did. Yeah, David Xavier has the best information right here for the night. The best information we could have. The best way to win a war is not to fight it at all. Guys, yeah, I did cover the air bus that went down, or the 737 that went down. So we were looking at the altitude and the flight earlier in the show. Yeah, this is pretty intense. This is from Tehran, from Associated Press. Iran struck back at the United States early Wednesday for killing a top Revolutionary Guards commander, firing a series of ballistic missiles at two military bases in Iraq, housing American troops in a major escalation between the two longtime foes. Like my mom said the other day, there's only a fight if two people showed up. There's only a fight when two show up. But if only one comes, there's no fight, right? So, let's see if we got some images here. That's Trump there. There's a bunch of stuff there. Nice tie. There's that's them chanting there in the parliament. So this is intense. Let's go back. Let's see what these guys have to say here on Fox News. Oh, come on. Kidding me. Did this thing get taken down?
Joining us also tonight live from Washington, Senator Ted Cruz. Great state of Texas. Senator, good to have you on the program. Welcome back. Here's my take, Senator, and I think it's fairly simple. You don't get to shoot American drones out of the sky. You don't get to take oil tankers hostage to impact and disrupt the oil supply, the lifeblood of the world's economy. You don't get to kill Americans like they did at the end of December. You don't get to attack our embassy to kill Americans and our interests abroad. You don't get to be the #1 state sponsor of terror. You don't fight proxy wars. You don't try to get to take over the entire region and threaten to wipe Israel off the map and act the way they're acting without expecting a response. I don't want a war. I don't think you do either, Senator. But there has to be a response, doesn't there?
No, Sean, I think that's exactly right. Iran is exceptionally dangerous. And if you look at Soleimani, taking Soleimani out, he was the most dangerous terrorist in the world. The Department of Defense has told us that he was directly responsible for the deaths of at least 603 U.S. servicemen and women. He has directed terror groups across the globe, including Hamas, including Hezbollah, targeting Americans, targeting civilians, and taking them out has made America safer. Now, as we look at this...
All right, let's roll back here. It's the same rhetoric we're hearing on every other channel. Let's go back to Press TV. This is state-run. Guys, this is state-run Iranian news.
Kilometers from the Iranian border.
Yeah, we're having troubles connecting
this
here.
In itself, some sources say, gentlemen, that...
Come on. Come on.
You see Anbar province in the farthest part of to the Iranian borders. I believe some 400, 500, even a little bit more, perhaps, kilometers from the Iranian border. This in itself, some sources say, gentlemen, that shows that Iran is neither afraid nor incapable of launching a military strike. Just the tip of an iceberg, I would say, that it is neither afraid nor incapable of conducting a military strike against U.S. forces or U.S. air bases, a country that a lot of people would consider formidable. I'd like to give the floor to Sayyid Mohsen Abbas to see how he comments on that.
Well, Iran has the Shahab-1 ballistic missile, which is a 300 kilometer range. It has the Fateh 110, which is 300 to 500 kilometers. It has the Shahab-2, which can go 500 kilometers, and the Zulfikar, which is 700. The Qayyam 1750 is another 750 kilometers, but the Shahab-3 can go 2,000 kilometers. So it has a wide range of ballistic missiles, which, don't forget, was one of the major things which the Americans have been crying about since the JCPOA walkout. They've been saying that Iran must get rid of these ballistic missiles because that was a bad move by the JCPOA negotiators to allow them to have this kind of self-defense mechanism. So, of course, this is extraordinarily powerful. 2,000 kilometers puts everybody, all its major adversaries, apart from America, in its range. But even there, the American bases are in its range. But the rest of the adversaries, including Israel, most importantly, could be hit by the Shahab, for instance. And I think its firepower has been demonstrated. And I think that's what partly the Islamic Republic of Iran has done in choosing this method of response, because they could have done a ground response. They had ground forces. They could have hit these targets in different ways. But the ballistic missile is the one that really worries them the most. And from what my sources tell me, is that actually Iran has used the weakest of all of those ballistic missiles. The ones they used today that have caused the devastation in Erbil and the devastation in Assad, US bases, are the least powerful of all. Now that sends a massive message, because prior to the weapons being launched by Iran, let's not forget what Donald Trump was saying. He'd given the order for there to be maximum security and maximum protection for all of his US bases in that region. Well, if that's the maximum protection he can offer them, and the Iranians have demonstrated with some of their weakest ballistic missiles that actually they can pummel through them and destroy anything that exists there, well, that gives the Americans food for thought. If they hadn't got it already, it doesn't sound like it's terribly advisable for them to proceed with escalating this conflict. On the ground, of course, the military, again, you see that the experience that the Islamic Republic of Iran's army gained in the 8-year sacred defense in the war, the imposed war of Saddam Hussein, sponsored by none other than the Americans and the usual suspects, Israel, etc. In fact, they were even flying Saddam's planes at that time.
So here we go, guys. So we're getting live news coverage directly from Press TV, Iranian state fund media. Seeing both sides, Iran basically is not denying any of these attacks whatsoever. They just wanted some sort of a balance or some sort of revenge or some sort of, you know what I'm saying? Yep. Guys, if you can, I need you guys to... Man, this is pretty intense. Okay, so on the ground on the ground in the Middle East, I've been receiving messages for another news outlet, someone who reports for another major news outlet in the Persian Gulf that does not want to mention their name or anything, but they said, here's their message to me today. Poop is all over the place in the Middle East, if you know what I mean. As your Middle East advisor, I recommend if you have any family in Europe or the Middle East, now is a time for them to leave. Please be careful with this information. The Iranian military has made huge troop movements in the interior, as well as many of their submarines are no longer in port. The United States Navy 3rd and 7th Fleets are running silent as they are no longer broadcasting Wi-Fi. Reports of an ICBM attack is underway in the Persian Gulf. The United States military has presidential order to carry weapons on weapons on duty at all times. That only happens at a DEFCON state or 3 or less. DEFCON 3 or less. The economy will most definitely react to this. Expect significant movement of money if it has not already happened in the global economy. So I'm getting huge information from people down on the ground in the Persian Gulf. Do not want to. They just don't want to come on the show. I've asked them, and they said no, I can't, Mike. So here goes.
Missile attack.
Back to Ted Cruz.
We see the Ayatollah Khamenei striking back and targeting America, targeting our bases. But I will say this. I think what you cautioned in your opening monologue is exactly right, which is that we are not going to get into an extended land war in the Middle East. We're not going to do it. And when you see Democrats in the media lighting their hair on fire and saying we're headed to World War III, this is hysteria driven by the fact that they hate Donald Trump, because it used to be the case that we could all come together and say that when there's a terrorist who's targeting Americans, in this case Soleimani had just directed an attack on the U.S. Embassy in recent days, that taking out a terrorist targeting Americans is a good thing. I commend President Trump for following principles of peace through strength, but at the same time, we're not going to be sending our sons and daughters into harm's way for an extended land battle in the Middle East.
Senator, amen to everything you just said. And
all right, let's go back to Press TV and see what they got to say. This is live Iranian state-run television. I'm getting a really bad connection from Iran right now.
And within the past
come on
hour or so, we also got the news of an airliner crashing in Iran as well.
Yeah, it's right here, guys.
We're not sidelining that story, and just keeping you up to date with that, my understanding. And this is the information that I have so far gathered about a Ukrainian airplane of the Ukraine International airline company with 170 souls on board. Some sources put it together with the crew at 180, going down in the early hours of today, just past 6:30 in the morning, going down near Tehran's Imam Khomeini International Airport. That's in southern Tehran, just a few seconds, I believe, after takeoff. Some sources I've been checking that the aircraft had reached the
8,000 feet.
The altitude of 7,500 feet. That's just within the takeoff phase of the aircraft. So you can't say, it had taken off or it had gone up so high, but high enough for an aircraft or an airliner to come down with force and kill. Everybody on board. My understanding through the pictures, some of which you see right here, right behind me right now, is...
All right, we'll come back in a second to the media there. Okay, they will use drones. I don't know if they will use drones. I don't know about that. The Raven says this is bigger than a war. This is getting intense, guys. This is turmoil in the Middle East. Get it? Turmoil? Yeah. Yeah. Zeus Truth in the house. It is getting crazy. Papa Pest saying drone planet. Layla, you're right, Raven. It's a war against the NWO and the banking cartel. Man, we only have one true member in the house here. Oh my God, Tig Nim, thanks for joining, guys. Come on, support the channel. Don't be cheap. If you guys want to, wow, there's a lot of people commenting. Guys, if you need to message me, I've been getting some very important messages right here on Facebook. You go to my fan page, you'll find it on top of the channel. If you guys want to send me a direct message, go to the top here. You'll see my Facebook right there. It's a fan page. This one has 117,000 followers. There's a fake one out there with like 9 followers. Don't go to that one, please. Okay. Let's move on. Here it is, guys. The channel, support it, and go to the join section here, and go ahead and join the channel right now, live if you can. $1.99 a month gets you a little badge, and the longer you stay, your colors start to change. And if you're over a year on the channel, your badge turns red. And ever since Canada made it mandatory for shipping to America, you got to pay some sort of service fee, and not tracking, service fee. It's been getting hard for me shipping to the U.S. when 80% of what I sold went to the United States, and now I have to only stick domestically now, and it's starting to hit hard, guys. It's going to hit hard over time, and we're all going to be tightening our belts. Get to the shop. We got the Mike in the Night Raven mug. Here it is, guys. The Mike in the Night Raven mug, and it's got a cute photo here of the Raven if you guys want to pick it up. The Mike in the Night Raven. And you know what? I lowered the prices on everything, so I'm making 50 cents off everything. There's the Raven mug right there, 12 bucks Canadian. That's like 8 bucks US maybe. The new Mike in the Night, I got licensing permission to use these awesome images on Mike in the Night from a fan. Give me written permission to use this. Look at this, Mike in the Night logo at the bottom. Mike in the Night in the back. If you could find it, it's hidden in there, but it says Mike in the Night in the back. Support the transmission, guys. All right, let's get back to what's important. Iran strikes back with U.S. with missile attacks in airbase Iraq. This is what we're covering tonight. We're also kind of binding in the Ukraine 737, 180 on board. And we're just kind of following what's happening right now because tensions in the Middle East, things they don't need to escalate this. According to what Iran said on Press TV, they said, look, they just wanted to get even for the murder of this guy. Now, can you just let it be? Could we let...
alive behind. So let's just...
So I'm trying to get this Press TV to work here so we can see what the angle is.
Keep our fingers crossed. Let's hope for the best for the people on board that aircraft. Of course, since the early hours of this morning, because of that IRGC attack on the U.S. airbase.
Oh, yeah, it's very early hours in the morning in Iran right now. All right, let's put this on pause. Let's get back to some comments here. Rothschild's greater project here. Dave from Berlin. Mike, I'm a member for like 4 years. Nice. Layla says, psst, no kidding. You don't get news in this part of the world. After Iran is taken out, they'll call Iraq and Iran the new Israel. Mike, your mining stock must be doing well. Yeah, mining stocks are doing great, guys. But I'm just more concerned about this because I mean, this could be a pinnacle event here that slowly builds up and actually changes the course of mankind. Right? Completely change the course of mankind for better or for worse. I mean, it could go either way, right? So we need to voice our discontent for war online. They watch the online comments for political decisions that will be favorable. You know what, guys? I'm not in favor of... I don't want war. I know war is coming. I don't want it. Right? I know taxes are going to go up. I know the price of housing is going to crash. I know all kinds of stuff. But we're following the trends. We're kind of feeling out what's going on. So let's get back to Yahoo Finance in Australia and find out markets are... So Australian dollar is now below... No, that's the ASX. The ASX is down the 200. And the All Ords is down 11.70. Not too much down, but it can't keep above water. Australian dollar is dipping back to zero gain at 68 cents on the US dollar. And the oil is still ticking at around $63 a barrel. Gold is still at $19 up today. It did pass the $1,600 mark about an hour and a half ago when Lord Humongous messaged me. And I said, you know what? Let's do a quick Mike in the Night tie-in tonight with these two little things. And yeah, there's some of my stocks show up here, and a lot of them, everything's green, right? But I don't know, guys. It's nice to kind of make a bit of gain here and there, but I'm concerned about this escalation, because this is going to end up on everyone's doorstep. This could end up right at your doorstep. Didn't Iran say to remember some number? I'm not sure. On the Fed will just pump more money. Papa Piss says Russian oligarchs are partially responsible for this Middle East tension. Russia needs to supply W to survive the winter. Well, supply petrol, I guess, or oil or energy for the winter. Yeah. Tell Israel to fight their own wars. Lots of people commenting here. You're right, Mike. Many of the in denial of how serious this is. I'm trying to not fan the flames and add more gas. I don't want to be pro all this stuff. I don't want this stuff. Nobody wants this stuff, you know? So we got Disc Mill Records saying, just found your channel from reading comments on Jeremiah Babe's channel. Enjoying your work. Cheers from MN and MN. That could be Manitoba or Minnesota. Or Manchester. Donaire saying, Iranian Americans are worried they will be targeted of U.S. government. Doug Washington Bound says, 6 B-52 bombers sent. People are saying Iran caused it. Oh, Minnesota. Okay, Minnesota. Okay. So I got my Middle East Persian Gulf intelligence here in a private chat on the side, just waiting on anything he could bring to me to the table. Earlier message, I'll reread it. It's not that long, but it's not that short. Poop is all over the place in the Middle East, if you know what I mean. As your Middle East advisor, I recommend if you have family in Europe or the Middle East, now is the time for them to leave. Please be careful with this information. The Iranian military has made huge movements in the interior of Iran, as well as many of their submarines are no longer in port. The 3rd United States Navy, 3rd and 7th fleets are running silent as they are no longer broadcasting Wi-Fi. Reports of ICBM attack is underway in the Persian Gulf. The United States military has presidential order to carry weapons on duty at all times. That only happens at a DEFCON state or 3 or less. The economy most definitely will react to this, expect a significant movement of money if it is not already happened in the global economy. So just getting the download from my Middle East correspondents on the ground right now. So yeah, and then the Middle East has been in such huge turmoil. Okay, 2,000, maybe 3,000 years before the time of Jesus. Jesus shows up, tells everyone to love each other, passes on. 2,020 years later, after Jesus is gone, or 2,000 years, 1,090 years or whatever after Jesus is gone, we still have huge turmoil in the Middle East. All right, let's see who we could get here. I want to get the Raven on the show because he brought this up during Mike in the Night. And, well, he was right. I really want to be wrong about this. I just don't want people to die. You know what I'm saying? The problem is people die at a time of war, and
Hello.
Yo, what's up, buddy?
How's it going?
It's going good. We got the Raven on the show, guys, live on Mike in the Night. Well, I really don't want this to escalate, buddy. What do you have to say, man? I really don't want to see this get go any further than this. Hello? Raven,
Embryo stage, Mike.
huh?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, you're breaking up really bad. Maybe you need to get by a window or something, or by your Wi-Fi. No audio. You turned off your audio, bud. Hello? Here, let me call him back. Let me call him back. We lost audio on there. Let me call him back. There's no dice. No dice. His phone. He's in a bad... I don't know where he is. I don't know if he's working. I don't want to bug him if he's working. You guys are tuned in to Mike in the Night. All right, Raven. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, perfect, perfect. What did you think of that Raven mug before we kick off?
Well, you could have picked a better picture.
Well, you look cute in that one. I could do 5 different mugs. You know what I'm saying?
That should be the train spotting mug.
Yeah. You know who I'm talking about, right? The guy I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. I don't remember his name, but I've seen the show a couple times,
I think
not
his
for
name is
years.
Spud.
But yeah, Spud or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't talk properly.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He went to the job interview, remember?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you're on Mike in
well.
the Night. You called it on Mike in the Night last Saturday, and we're doing a special Mike in the Night emergency episode because of this tension that's building up in the Middle East is friggin' intense. You could cut it with the knife.
We're just in the embryo stage of what's going to be happening there. You see, Trump, they put out that statement saying, if you guys do anything, we're going to hit 52 cultural targets. They pulled back that statement. They said that would be a war crime if you were to do that. So they're not going to hit the 52 targets, but they're going to hit multiple targets. That's, you know what? They killed that general on purpose. They didn't kill him because he's a bad man. They killed that guy to kick off what they want to kick off. But more than this war, ask yourself, why did they start this war? Like, what's the reason? Are they going to try and bring this system down? Are we that close?
Hold on, Raven. Iran and America have been at war since the 60s.
It doesn't matter.
They've
doesn't
been
matter.
In an information war. They've been in a trade war. They've been in dispute war. They've been fighting over oil.
Yeah.
They've been economically at war. They've been at war regardless if they're firing any shots.
And you know what, Mike? You know what? They're hoping you say that. They're hoping that's what you think. That's not what I think. I think they killed that general on purpose. They did that for a reason. I don't care about the wars they've been. Why did they come out and do that now?
Mm-hmm.
Why did they kill that guy now? Right?
Yeah.
Why did? So there's more reason to that. Like, that's not just something they said, oh, we're going to get rid of a bad man. That guy's, he was high up on the list. The U.S. intelligence, they know exactly the outcome of killing that guy. You killed Superman to the Iranians. You killed their hero. Every single Iranian, every single person in that part of the world wants America to die now. And they knew by pushing that button, there was no return. There's no going back. You're not going to reverse that. They did that for a reason. What's the reason they did that for? That's a huge thing they did. If I was privy to their meetings, I'd be saying, what the hell do you guys think you're doing? Why would you kill that guy? You might as well kill their leader. You know, that guy was probably going to be their leader. There's something big coming down the pipe. This is going to get really messy. And the U.S. is going to do something that's going to make a lot of people very upset. I see something very bad. Something big is going to come down the pipe from this. I knew that on Saturday. We're in the embryo stage of this thing getting started. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse this week. You're going to see probably multiple attacks before next Saturday. This is going to get very big. Oh yeah, huge. This is gonna be a very, very, very big war. This is gonna be probably bigger than Iraq, the Iraq War. This is gonna be huge.
The Iraq
They
War is
did this
trillions of dollars in and like $16 trillion in. So that's been
well,
going on for decades now.
you know what? Like the Iraq War was like I think said and done in 4 days. It's what they did after, trying to get a pipeline to the Caspian Sea.
Halliburton.
They've always wanted Iran. They could never get Iran. You know, it's well, they tried it with the Shah of Iran, all that crap of getting a guy. Then they voted him out and all that. But they've always had a problem with Iran. They want Iran. But I think this even goes bigger. I think this is probably bigger than oil. I think this. I'm not gonna give all my information. I'm just gonna sit back and say that this is gonna get bigger. I see a bigger story here. There's a bigger picture at hand. Something really big is gonna come from this.
Well, Jim B747 is stated, remember, believe everyone, trust no one.
You know what? I don't believe very much of what I see coming out of the news. Just don't believe it. Mm-hmm. I don't. You got to make up your own mind, eh? You got to think for yourself. Don't believe what. Hey, look at Trump, the best economy ever. You know, best economy ever. I went for dinner tonight, and I was walking with this guy to the restaurant here, and he goes, "Well, I thought the U.S. economy was doing so well." And I said, "No, it's not doing well. Trump is the one who's giving false news, fake news. Trump is the fake news. You know." Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's peddling fake news himself. So what are you going to do? But the 3 days of mourning that Iran had, they hit right away after their 3 days of mourning. Mm-hmm. I thought they would have done something a little bigger, though, a little more symbolic.
Okay, well, we went to the Iranian state media earlier, right? Okay. Let's go back to the Iranian state media real quick here. Okay, do you remember what they said earlier in what they were broadcasting on their end? Do you remember what they said? They said they just wanted to get even for what they did to the guy. That's all they wanted. They just wanted a balance. That's all.
Yeah, there's going to be no balance. You took their hero.
No. But the Iranians said, look, we're basically, according to what this journalist from Tehran was saying, not this guy, another guy that was on, was just basically saying, in his words, that they were looking to get even for what they did, like a kind of like to bring balance to what happened. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no. You're already having, no, that's not true. No, these guys want Americans dead. They're never going to stop now. You just programmed every single Iranian to kill Americans. They're never going to stop. They're not. That's all they're going to think of is you killed their hero. That's it. The worst guy you could kill. And you're telling me the Americans didn't realize this was going to be the outcome? They wanted this outcome. This is all by design. Hate to say it, sound like a broken record, but they knew what they were doing. You can't tell me they're that stupid. They know how to play the psychological warfare game.
Okay, we got this broadcasting right now from Iran. It's saying Iran does not seek war, but will give crushing response to any aggression.
Yes, and that's the intelligent answer that Iran has to give, because they don't want war, because the U.S. will just crush them and kill them. They'll do the little hit and miss game.
Who wants to step into a fight and know they're going to lose?
Well, are they going to lose? Look at Vietnam. Guerrilla warfare in their part of the world could go on for decades and decades. The U.S. can't afford to be anywhere. The U.S. can't afford to be in a snowball fight, never mind Middle East. Mm-hmm. So what's the reason that they did this? There's a bigger reason. We have to find that reason. They did that on purpose, Mike. Don't ever think for a second they didn't kill that general on purpose. This was for a bigger reason. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what's the reason? Does the reason come down to why there's a fire in Australia? Does it come down to why there's 800 million dead pigs in Asia? Why there's avian bird flu in Europe? While the corn is gone in Africa, while the wheat's gone in America, while the cod's gone on the West Coast, does it come down to that shit? Right? What's the big picture? What's going on? Why did they do that? That's what I'm looking at.
The Raven is very excited tonight. Very on edge and very pumped. Were you excited when you saw that I went live?
I was eating a pizza when you called me there.
Oh, earlier today. Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, earlier.
Yeah, no, but yeah. Yeah, Iran in
I
its
knew why
letter
you.
to the UN Security Council, war against any military. Iran in its letter to the UN Security Council warns against any military adventurism. So we got a lot of people in the comments right now, Raven.
You know what, Mike? $100 billion injected into the repo market. You know, what's going on?
Well, let's find
Why
out
did
what's
they
going
start
on
that
right
war?
now. Markets are open in Australia. I think we're in the tail end of it right now. Let's find out. ASX is down. All ords are down. We got Australian US dollar still at 68-cent dollar. Oil is at 63.48. Gold is still sitting at the 1593 mark. We did hit 1600 earlier, about 2 hours ago. And Bitcoin's rallying. It's up 231 Australian dollars. So it's pushing around, I think that's about 9,000 US dollars from Australian dollars. So we're watching the Australian market open right now. So we're kind of keeping a gauge on gold right here. And oil's still going up. It's at 63 a barrel right now. So just kind of keeping my ear to the ground here of what's going on. Euro is still keeping its head above water. And the euro sitting at 61 cent Australian. Yeah, and the markets.
I don't think you'll see gold settle over 1,600 until you have a dead American soldier, and that's coming probably this week.
Man, that's pretty intense. Okay, let's see here. America has been at war 93% of the time of the 222 years of 239 years since 1776, according to Global Research. That is very true. It's 93.9% of the time. 93.9% of the time. America's been at war for 222 years out of the 239 years. That is 100% completely correct. This is it's a book that was written. There was a book written about that. It was a huge book that explains all the conflicts and stuff. So remember, you know how it is, Raven. War is business in the end. Bottom line.
I just don't think that's the reason for it this time.
You really?
No, I don't. No, they hit that guy. That there's something bigger at hand here. That's just me though. Like everybody's entitled to their own opinion. That's just me.
Okay, we got Josh saying Canada's pulling all troops out of Iraq to Kuwait. Question. Okay, well here's the first thing. Canada has troops, really? And
we have a beaver and a couple Cub Scouts.
And then Canada has troops in Iraq. Wow, I didn't know that. Okay,
we had 500 trainers there. They were training.
Okay, we got Jim B747 says the repo market is in total collapse. Lord Humongous is saying another reason why America will never be invaded. Tig Nim. Yes, it's called God. And then Layla says, LOL. UK passenger plane just crashed near Tehran. Yeah, we got it right here. UK passenger plane? No, it was the Ukrainian, not UK. UK as in Ukrainian passenger plane. It's right here. We already covered that earlier today, guys. Is this tied to what's happening? I don't know. It could be, planes crash, 1 or 2 crashes a year. I don't know. I don't want to tie anything. I'm not trying to connect the dots to things that are not happening. Let's get back to what's happening here in Iran live from their state-run media.
As absurd as almost all responses coming from the United States are these days. We had President Trump tweeting that the U.S. will only withdraw once Iraq reimburses the United States. And in fact,
I'm not getting anything here. I'm not getting a really poor audio here.
The cost of its its occupation that has now run for many, many years.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
I just want to say that this little thing that's happening in Iran, it could very much be for them to cause. It's going to be an excuse for what happened with the economy. It could be an excuse, right?
Yeah.
If there wasn't a war, It can. There's several outcomes of what this could be. I suppose it could be a war to get the economy going and get money moving like they've always done. I don't think that's the reason. I think we're too far broken of an economy for that to be the reason. I think this could be an excuse for why the economy is collapsing because their repo market is falling apart, and they passed a law there. We're not allowed to see the minutes of the repo market for 2 years. So you can bet whatever's going to happen is going to happen within the 2 years because they don't want us to see what was in that repo market. Everything else that's falling apart, all that, they know. They know. It was a good party while it lasted. That Keynesian experiment was a great rush, but like Maynard Keynes said, in the end, we're all dead. So this might be an excuse for them to bring this economy down, or this might be something even bigger where they're going to clean up a whole bunch of shit on this planet and they're going to use this catastrophe to do it. They may. I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to fix the economy so we can go to 9-10 billion people. Never let a travesty go to waste. I think they're going to clean up a whole bunch of problems with this. That's what I think's going to happen. They're going to clean up a whole bunch of little things, and they're going to usher in a new little thing that.
All right.
I know that sounds conspiratorial.
Let me put my tinfoil hat on for a sec, okay?
Yeah.
Let me put some tinfoil on my head. Okay, here goes. Australia, bushfires are going to cause the collapse that they've been holding on to for so long, and this Ponzi housing scheme and unaffordability in Australia, they're going to pin it on the fires. UK, they're going to pin it on Brexit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
United States, it's going to probably pin it on global or
Democrats
hot
and
war with
Republicans.
the Middle East, right?
Democrats and Republicans, the divided nation
Right.
of us against you, of hating Trump. Everything's divided in America. You're right there. Okay, keep going.
And then I think Canada, I don't see Canada's way out. I don't see the only thing Canada I think could put the blame on is just our prime minister. I don't think Canada has anything going for it in a negative tone, like really bad negative tone, like Brexit or the wildfires or all this other stuff happening that they could blame it on something. Canada is like kind of like a free bird there saying, okay, well, what's your excuse, Canada?
What is there going on in Canada can cause mass confusion? Nothing really.
Yeah,
What's going on
We
here?
don't have a Brexit. We don't have bushfires. We don't have all this stuff
We
that's
got-
happening, right?
We got Slurpees and beavers. That's it.
Woo!
You're right, though. What's going on in Canada that could cause mass confusion? Nothing really. But we're a low population country too, eh?
Mhm.
But even Australia's 10 million less than us. But
Their per capita, per family, per capita for every household that makes $1, they owe back $2.25.
yeah. So, but we also have a massive housing bubble. We have high debt per household.
Oh, we do.
got a lot of
It's
issues
just
here.
under
We'll
$2.
we'll collapse. Yeah, we'll collapse on ourselves, and it'll be every man for himself. So, but you're right. Europe, they have the refugees. They've got all kinds of problems. Their system is completely collapsing there. Australia's on fire. The States is completely a madhouse with everything is crazy there. Everybody hates everybody else. So the whole and look at China. Look what they're doing to the Christians and look what they're doing to the Muslims there. They're causing a lot of problems in their own country.
Yeah, you're talking about a northwest China, that territory up there that at one point was, it still is
Hong
like a
Kong?
Muslim territory, but they've just like all the other tribes. A lot of people don't understand that China was all tribes or different families that ruled different areas, right? And the one state that became and started to create the idea of the Federation of China was Manchuria. Once Manchuria came out or became part of the because Manchuria was a different country, right? It was an autonomous region of China until Japan invaded it in 1939, right? Or 1931. 1931, I'm sorry. 1931. but it wasn't full-blown China. It was an autonomous area. But after the Chinese Federation was formed, after 1945, things got pretty intense, and then they went into Tibet. You know what happened with that. Then, they got into that Indo-Sindhu war over on the India-China border, the dispute that back in the 61, 62, 63. Then you had that big dispute there in that area you're talking about, northwest area where it's like a Muslim territory, but they're forced under the Chinese regime. You know what I'm saying? So is Tibet.
Yeah, they're treating everyone like crap.
Yeah, I hate communism, dude. I'm with you on that. I hate communism.
Well, you might have to get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
But like I sent you that screenshot of that guy was that YouTube channel. I think he has about 100,000 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
Lord Humongous goes to his channel, watches his channel all the time. Do you see what that guy's talking now? He's saying that the U.S. is doing this, getting ready for a depopulation and a market crash. They're going to crash the markets and depopulate. That's what that guy's telling his 100,000 subscribers now. Who did you hear say that before? I was telling you that on your channel.
AJ.
For what, the last 6? Yeah.
AJ.
I said they're going to.
Yeah,
they're going to use it
saying that for years. But you know what? I mean, here, on Mike in the Night, we like to, I don't know, I like to be more open to
what it is, Mike?
angle.
Mike, when people have children, they're less apt to listen to what I have to say about what's coming because they can't afford to listen to what I have to say. People who don't have children are more easily accepting of what I have to say. If you have children at home, it's hard for you to hear that they're going to try and depopulate from a market crash. But that's what I see them trying to do. That's what I think they're going to use. They never let a good travesty go to waste. And a population is a problem for them.
Mm-hmm.
Even if whether you agree or not with that, that's what I see. And I see other people online are starting to fall into line with that train of thought. Just by all the stuff that's going on in the world, see it all crazy.
But they've been talking about depopulation for the last millennia. You know what I'm saying?
And again, they've been warring with Iran for the last millennia.
Oh no,
that's it.
Iran was the Persian Empire. Before that was the Persian Empire. It was like partial Mesopotamia /
Yeah.
Like if you go to biblical times, that area has been at war 2,000 years before Jesus and 2,000 years after Jesus. I mean, Alexander the Great went there. Everybody went there. Even Napoleon was in Egypt in the Middle East. There too.
But look at the recipe for disaster we have today. Look at the protests around the world. Look what's happening with Australia, with the pork, with everything that's happening in the world, with the economy, with the repo market, with the population. Look at it all. Why'd they kill that general? Why'd they kill him? Think about it. What's going on here? This is not just a little tit for tat like we've been doing for a century or 5 centuries or whatever. This is something different. They're losing grasp and they're desperate. Something's going on here. This is going to get big. That's all I have to say about that.
All right.
I won't go on about it.
If it goes any further, if it escalates any further, then we'll do a Mike in the Night special this Saturday. We'll actually do a proper Mike in the Night, and we'll actually do tensions in the Middle East.
You know what? I'm going to give you. I'll give you another prediction.
Oh.
I say that there's an American casualty by Saturday coming up.
Well, how do you know that there's not one right now in that base that was hit?
They haven't said anything. And another thing, Trump said he wanted to hit 52 targets. What's his targets now that he's not hitting those cultural areas? Like, what's their, he said that to piss them off. He said that to instigate them, to get them mad. He's saying things to make them mad. And they're not leaving Iraq. They're never going to leave Iraq. We knew that.
Layla saying, guys, at least 30 killed.
Americans?
Mm-hmm.
Really? I haven't heard anything on it.
Well, let's go back to Press TV and find out. Are you at work, Raven?
I'm going to get on a train here in about half an hour.
Okay.
I'm going to be heading back to the city.
Okay. Okay.
I'll be off tomorrow.
Okay. Well, Saturday is Mike of the Night, so if you could come on my Saturday, it's like friggin' Sunday morning for you. But let me know if you could come on then, and then we'll see what happens if it.
I'm only 2 hours difference from you, right?
Oh, it's 2. I thought it was 3. I'm sorry.
No, that's Toronto.
Okay. 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 All right. I'll let you go. I'll let you calm down a bit.
Okay.
And drink some coffee or something.
I just had a bunch of coffee to keep me awake all night, so I'm a little wired.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. You're wired for sound. It's okay. All right.
Okay.
Raven, you have a good night, okay?
A little excited. Yeah, have a good one.
All right. Good night. That is the Raven, folks. You can pick up the Raven mug here at the shop. We got people commenting here. Guys, if you need to message me, just go to my fan page here. Guys, remember, there's two fake fan pages. Mine has 117,000 followers. There's one with 9 and 4 followers. It's got the same copy. It's all copied the same. Someone's copying my channel. I don't know why. Don't forget to join. Go here, guys, to the channel. Go to the join button, please. I need you guys to join. $2 a month, please. Let's go. Support the transmission. There it is. Go to the link. Join. $2. And keep this transmission going. The price of things are going up. The price of everything is going. I have one big-time member on the show, Tig Nim. He's got a little green thing around his name. Every time he comments, you get this little badge and, become a member on the show, which is really nice. It kind of helps the... There he is, Tig Nim, right there. He's got his member badge. And the longer you're a member, the more they start changing colors over the months. It changes colors until it becomes like a gold color. It automatically does it. Lord Humongous says, I just watch Arabs and Jews to remember that this America is neutral, like Switzerland. Laugh out loud. Mike, I shared on MySpace and with my grandma, says Cobra Jones. Silver is real money, says, hey, Mike. And we got Low Roller Scratcher in the house. If Iran missiles hit the White House, I don't think they have. They got a 2,000 kilometer, but it's too far, man. So this is not. I'm not trying to get out and just try to throw fake news out there or try to mislead you guys, because I'm reading everyone's comments. I'm reading what everybody's point of views here are. I'm reading what people think here. I'm not just going off a whim here or what, you know what I'm saying? Steven, Sewell is in the house. Sewell is in the house. So 3 months. Oh, yeah. Johnny, 23rds. Very important. Stock up on food and water, etc. 3-month supply. Guys, I don't even know how much I could preach about this. Please, please, please. Stock up on food and water. Get right with God. I'm not kidding, you guys. I ain't bluffing. I'm not kidding. So this Boeing plane, let's find out what's going on. We're gonna go back to the state run. Let's see if Fox News has anything worth talking about here. Fox News has been, I don't know, this thing's been frozen. All right, let's go back into it. This thing's been frozen. Regime fires 15. Okay, nothing's been updated here yet. They're live right now. Central Command confirms. What are they confirming here? What are the Central Command confirming here? Oh, it wants me to go through this garbage? Man. All right. Let's go back to state-run media television from Iran. Guys, this is state-run, like Canada. Canadian government, just before, 6 months before the election, pumped $600 million into our state-run media we have in Canada. Same thing with Iran. Same thing. All right, let's see what this guy has to say here. What's going on here?
Pushing forward with U.S. hegemony, so that the previous plan of a
We're getting really bad transmission from Tehran here.
Multipolar New World Order based on Atlantic world principles has been eclipsed, if you like, by this resounding commitment in the United States to furthering U.S. hegemony across the board. And as they work to make the EU and European countries weaker, in general terms, their position only gets stronger. But if we come back to the issue at hand, of course, and in particular, what lies in store for people in the
Yeah, I'm getting a really bad transmission from Tehran here.
My own view, as your other speaker has said, is that this response was a very muted one, thankfully so. And I suspect that what happens next is very much.
Come on, this guy was talking something important here. Yeah, I'm getting some pretty bad transmission out of Tehran here. This is broadcasting live from Tehran, Iran, and I'm not getting any transmission here. It's a pretty bad feed here. I think it went down. I think the transmission went down from there. Yeah, it's been taken down.
Or
here we go.
Perhaps more importantly, the presidential administration is very often obsessed with political realities in the United States, especially at a time like this when the U.S. is now going into a new presidential election cycle. It's unfortunate that they fail to recognize that there are also political realities in Iran. And I think it would have been all but impossible for Iran not to respond to this flagrant attack, this assassination, this act of war, without there being undesirable political consequences on the domestic front. So something had to be done. I certainly don't count the firing of what seems to be something in the order of about 30 missiles at a U.S. military base as being a massive response. We've seen as much happen without much ado in targeting military action originating from Israel. We've seen similar, even bigger missile strikes on the Golan, for example, on Israeli positions in the Golan. So I think it was a very measured response. I think it was calculated in part to satisfy demands at home.
So that's what I said earlier to the Raven. They sent this or did this to satisfy or actually create some sort of a balance. Will it end right here? That's the question. Iran is basically saying, look, we just wanted to satisfy measures. We kind of wanted to find a balance here. That's all we wanted. We wanted some sort of a revenge. But the Raven in the comments again saying no. Well, Raven's going, I want there to be some sort of balance now. I just want, like, okay, you know, I stood up to the bully and punched him back and he never came back or bullied me again. I hope that works and that's it. It's over. I don't want to go to war, guys. I don't want to see this as, I don't. So silver is real money saying, do the banksters care what Trump calls them? Yeah, we don't want war, man. Nobody wants war. Apparently, Dave from Berlin is saying Putin is inviting Merkel to Russia to discuss. I think one of the reasons politically why one of the multiple thousand reasons why Hill Dog didn't become president, because she was threatening to invade Iran. When Hill Dog was campaigning, she was threatening to invade Iran, and that was blatant. She said it many times, right? So, yeah. Yep. So I'm going to be wrapping it up, guys, in a few minutes here. I'm going to go spend a little bit of time with the wife before we hit the sack tonight. We're going to watch a little bit of Star Wars. My wife's never seen Star Wars before, so we're watching it together. And yeah, guys, I had to do this early, Mike in the Night. We're going to do one on Saturday, my Saturday, which is your morning wherever you are. And we could go over what's been happening, what's going on, and Low Roller Scratcher saying Trump will invade Iran. Now, okay, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I mean, I don't want war. I don't want war, man. I just want Iran to get there, I guess, push back or punch the bully in the nose, and he just, that's what I want. That's what I want. I don't want anything else. You know what I'm saying? The bully got told, and that's what Iran's measures are. We wanted a kind of retaliation. We wanted a balance. We felt that this was, like the guy said, calculated. We felt, it wasn't that, we felt. We don't, we just want this. I just want this to be over. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Low Roller Scratcher right there hit the nail on the head. Trump should not have done nothing with Iran, period. Man. Yeah, people are getting somewhat out of hand in the comments too, guys. Calm down, guys. Relax. So we got, what does Trump have to gain going to war with Iran? Well, a stronger petrodollar, that's for sure. Stronger petrodollar. America can't survive on a $60 barrel, which reminds me, let's check and see what the markets are at right now in Australia. All right, Australian dollar just above water there at 68 cents US. We got the all ords down 22 points. The ASX down 17 points, sitting at 6,809. Oil is at 63.50. Gold is sitting at $15.93.50, up $20 in the southern eastern hemisphere here. And Bitcoin is sitting around 8 something US, 8,000 and change US. And that's it. Just waiting for the UK markets to open up soon and go from there. But, yeah, very concerning, guys. I don't want war. Nobody wants war. Nobody wants this. I don't want this. Like Ted Cruz said earlier in Fox, we're watching Fox here. Ted Cruz basically said, you know what? I don't want to send, our people, children, our people, to go fight these wars. We don't want this. Nobody wants this. You know what I'm saying? But Middle East has been in tensions, disturbances, wars, misunderstandings, before biblical time and after biblical. It's just, it's nuts. Anyways, guys, don't forget to follow me here on Facebook here. I'm going to give you my Facebook here directly. This is my fan page. If you need to message me on Facebook, go ahead. Here's the link right here. Go ahead and message me on Facebook if you need to. This is the only channel with 117,000 fans. There's two fake channels that look the same. Don't go to those ones because they're misinforming people and stuff. Seabreeze said war just started, 40 killed, 1 passenger plane down. Yeah, General Wesley Clark said it best. You guys know General Wesley Clark. That guy's incredible. Great guy. You remember what he said. And if you don't, just type in General Wesley Clark in YouTube. I'm not going to type it in and bring it up because it's just going to flag my damn channel. Guys, you guys need to be PG. Guys, let's go. Get over here. Join the channel. We only have one in the comments. Tig Nim. Guys, join the channel. Get access to membership perks, guys. There's not much perks, but support the channel, guys. There's not a lot of people going out on limb doing this like I am, risking my neck here. There it is, guys. Support the channel. Become a member, please. Don't forget to get your Raven mug. Go shop over at Teespring, guys. Here's the Raven mug with the Raven. Here he is. with his train spotting hair and glasses. There he is. He looks like Spud there in that image, eh? There it is right there. Get your Raven mug. I think it's like $8 US, 12 Canadian. I lower the price on almost everything up here. I got exclusive rights to a lot of this great work. Look at this. Mike in the Night by fans. Look at that. Mike in the Night. Look at that, guys. That's freaking awesome. Look at the back. Mike in the Night. That's awesome, guys. So if you guys want to support the transmission, buy a pair of socks. I'm going to buy samples. People are asking me to get samples in. And look at the socks, man. I'm gonna get samples in, guys, for you guys to see. This towel is amazing. $30 Canadian. It's like, I think, 21 US. That's amazing. That towel's amazing. It's a huge city. Skyline's beautiful. You know, keep the transmission pumped. I'm pretty choked, guys, and I'm gonna be honest, and I never lie to you guys. I've been pretty much cut out of the American market ever since in Canada. In Canada, on the Canadian side, they made it next to impossible for me to mail out the cards I sell, the trading cards. I sell Magic trading cards online on eBay, and I've been doing really well until the Canadian side made it almost impossible for me to ship it without some extra payment on it. And the extra payment's like $12. And for me to sell this for let's say $12, for example, I put a $2 stamp, I make a bit of money. Now they want me to, in Canada side, pay an extra $12 to ship something there, even though it fits through the mail slot, it's below the weight. So 80% of the sales that I made were to America, and I've lost that. And it's a punch in the gut on the Canadian side. Why are they destroying our markets? Look at this all over. Look, I like this one. I'm going to get this one in too. This one. Mike in the Night. There's the back. Mike in the Night. Really nice, guys. You could find the link up top here on the Teespring and keep this thing going. Ukrainian. So let's go back to Press TV for one more minute and see what they're talking about. If they've changed the... Here it
is not being given the information with which to figure out what's happening. It's being denied this deliberately and with a great deal of expense and expertise. It's being denied the information about what actually is.
Okay, guys, we're just getting this right now from Iranian state-run public television. It's kind of like Canadian news where the government pays. Informed source to Press TV. None of Iran's missiles targeting U.S. bases in Iraq intercepted. So, again, informed source to Press TV. None of Iran's missiles targeting U.S. bases in Iraq intercepted.
But in the case of Syria, for example, I said, I've never seen it. Not with Vietnam, not with Iraq. Why is everything that's said about Syria, why is that totally turned upside down and fabricated? And he said, it's simple. It's because the United States is losing the war in Syria. And we can expect the same thing with respect to other nations that defy the United States, especially if the United States is losing in these wars. So so this is the...
That probably just answered Raven's question, why U.S. could be losing these wars, which they are. They haven't won a war since World War II, right? Like, I mean, a clean, you know what I'm saying? Like, decisive. Anyways, guys, I'm not going to venture too deep into this. We'll do a Mike in the Night if this continues. Tomorrow night, trends in the housing market. Don't forget to join me. Trends in the housing market tomorrow night, and we'll discuss the housing dilemma we're having all over the Commonwealth. I wanted to do a last-minute Mike in the Night for you guys because I love you guys. So, 15 hit bases according to Daniel O'Brien. The Ravens stated it will continue. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining Mike in the Night. Let's play the Mike in the Night tune one last time while we wind out. Where the hell did I put that? Here it is. Mike in the Night tune.
Gemini King, Mike in the Night, and the Gemini crew. Ooh.
turn, 'cause you're here with us tonight. Everything's alright when you're here with Mike in the night. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Giving the world light when you're here with Mike in the night. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Sometimes things are just absurd, so let's just talk about the world, 'cause you're here with us tonight.
Guys, join the channel. Let's go.
Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Let's just talk about the world. Give this page another curl, 'cause you're here with us tonight.
Good night, you all. Thanks.